Testing. Can you guys hear me? Is the audio good? If the audio is good, just say you can hear me in the chat. Is it too loud, too soft? All right, so we're good to go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Omari here, and this is the Unconventional Six-Figure Music Business Webinar, How I Grew My Music Business from $20,000 to over $117,000 a year. So I'm going to give, the stragglers a couple more minutes to get checked in. But while we're waiting here, just check out some of the polls in the chat. Help me help you by answering some of these questions in the chat polls. And then I'm going to mute the chat during the presentation. So definitely feel free to hit that chat up for the next couple minutes. And we'll get started in like a minute and a half. All right, Sean can hear me. Merrick can hear me. Appreciate you guys. All right, we'll give people, Terry can hear me. We're good to go. So yeah, we'll give people like 30 more seconds to check in, and we're gonna get going. Daniel can hear me. That's what's up. All right, cool. All right, we'll get going here. Somebody steps in late, then they'll just have to catch on. But yeah, I'm in the polls too. We got people want to be able to work on their music career full time. Some people just need more listeners in the poll. But I'm gonna end that poll for now. And then the chat is going to be muted in the presentations, but I'm going to open up questions during a couple times, so you will be able to chat later. But for now, I'm going to mute it. All right, y'all. The chat is muted, and we are going to get started. So here's exactly what you're going to learn in the next hour. One, you're going to learn what to sell to your audience. So a number of artists hope to make all their revenue through music downloads, streaming, concert, merchandise sales. And these things should all be considered, and they should be a part of your music business and a part of your income, but they themselves don't maximize your earning potential. And the second thing you're going to learn is the art of conveying your message to your audience. So how to sell your product in a way that they're going to want to buy it. A lot of times artists will just not know how to sell their products in a way where the customer understands the benefit of them. So I'm going to go over that in depth on what's worked for me, and then you can just take whatever has worked for me and apply it to your business, even if it's not the same exact product or service. And a lot of times artists will just slap like a PayPal button on a page and expect that that's going to get people to pay for it. But we all know it takes a bit more than that. And then the last thing we're going to learn, number 3, is who actually wants what you're selling. So a lot of the time artists are focused on getting big numbers or a lot of plays rather than getting quality numbers. And I'm not trying to reach people who have no need for my music product or service. I want targeted people coming to my offers or coming to hear my music or hear my instrumentals and things like that. And so a couple things you're going to want to do. You're going to want to take notes. So open up Word, Microsoft Word, Notepad, or notes on your phone. Close all other windows besides those. So close your social media, close Instagram, close Facebook. They're going to still be there when this is done. Just besides your Notepad and this presentation, that's the only two things you want to open right now. And get rid of all other distractions around you. So if you got somebody being really noisy around you or something like that, you got a TV on in the background, close all that out. You are here to invest in yourself, so take yourself seriously. And then most artists don't make $500 a month from their music. You are trying to get out of that range. You're not trying to stay in it. You're not trying to be like everybody else. You're here because you want to take yourself seriously. So definitely close out all those other distractions. Make sure you take good notes that you can use later. And if you stay until the end, I'll tell you where to get a lot more training that can boost your music business sales. And by boost, here's what I'm talking about. So this is a screenshot. If you guys are on a phone, that might be a little bit small, but this is a screenshot, a recent screenshot of my PayPal earnings from the past year. And this number circled here, if you can't see it, it's $118,032.49. And so this is, you can see my name right here, business name. That is my business name. This is my business. This is my PayPal earnings. And that $118,000 doesn't include any Google AdSense revenue, any Stripe revenue, any Amazon revenue, nor various other music affiliate income. This is just money that went into PayPal earnings from my site. So in case you've never heard of me, I go by Omari. I'm a music producer, blogger, and promoter, currently living in Atlanta, Georgia. So if anybody's in Atlanta, shout out Atlanta. But I'm originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's definitely where I claim. So go Steelers. I own a few music websites, the main one being omarmc.com, which is where probably all of you sign up for this webinar. But I also own a couple other websites too. And instead of ranting on about myself, I'm not big on just talking. Like I already showed you guys one screenshot, but I'd rather show you some more results from my music business just because anybody can talk about what they've done. I just like to show what I've done. So here is a screenshot, another screenshot. This is from my Google Analytics account. Google Analytics shows you all your website visitors, and these are real numbers. These are the numbers for my website, omarmc.com. So if you never read Google Analytics, sessions is the amount of hits that a website gets, users, obviously unique users that have visited the website, and then page views. How many different pages have people viewed on the website? So these are the total numbers that my website has received. Almost 1.7 million hits. Users almost it's about 1.14 million unique visitors that have visited my website, and then page views over 5 million. So we just hit the over 5 million page views mark. And for those of you who don't know, a website visitor is way more valuable than a Spotify, a YouTube, or SoundCloud visitor or listener. And we're going to go over that more later, but that's something that you need to get down pat, because sometimes people will just want 1 million SoundCloud views or something like that. It is way more valuable to get a website visitor than just a SoundCloud play. So here's some mindsets you need to let go of. That was one that you need to let go of, that a website visit isn't as valuable as anything else. Here's some other mindsets. I'll make the bulk of my money through music streaming or downloads. You need to let that mindset go. I need to be signed to a record label to be successful. You need to let that mindset go. Owning my own website isn't important. We just went over that. You need to let that mindset go. I already own my website. I don't need to change or improve it. That mindset's got to go. And I just need to get more exposure on social media and Spotify or SoundCloud or YouTube, whatever one you want to name. Then the rest will take care of itself. Need to let that mindset go. Those are all profit killers that people keep telling themselves. I've seen it a number of times running my website through emails, calls, whatever. These are just not good mindsets to have. So this may sound too good to be true, but building a business is really as simple as you know what to sell, you know how to sell it, and you know who to sell to. So take notes on what I'm doing and adapt it for your business. So we're going to hop it into it here. Number one, knowing what to sell. So there's a difference between having a product and a service versus having a business. For example, I'm a producer. That was the first thing I ever was. I was a music producer. I still am. And most producers just sell instrumentals. They don't sell anything else. Maybe some of them might sell engineering services, but that's about it. An instrumental is just a product that I sell in my business, but it's not the whole business. So you can't be a one-trick pony. If you're a singer or a rapper, you most likely sell your songs, maybe concert tickets, maybe some of you sell t-shirts, things like that, but it's not going to be much else usually. So if you look at my products page, you'll see at least 19 different products and services available to buy. I have instrumentals, music promotion, drum kits, mixing and mastering services, ebooks, courses, social media promotion, and more, all listed at omarmc.com/products. So that'll be dropped in the chat. And this is just for you to look at. So you can look at that at the end, but that's just one example of all the different products that make up my business. Now, you may be thinking that's a lot of products to sell, or that you don't have the capability as one person to offer that many products for what you're trying to do. But that doesn't mean there aren't other products or services that you can't offer. You just need to find out what people actually want to buy. And there are a couple ways that I personally did this. So one thing I did was survey my audience. That sounds kind of simple, but it's not something people do enough. The reason I even started selling music promotion, which is one of those products on the page in the first place, is because I saw people were complaining about the way some companies handled their music promotion online. So I saw a problem. Then I developed a solution from that problem. So people would tell me, like, if people keep asking you, do you do something? Like they would say, do you have music promotion? Or people might say, if you're a singer, do you have this service or do you have that service? If you notice people keep asking for that, then that's when you can create a product to just solve a problem. So I paid attention to these key details when surveying my audience, and artists didn't like when people added fake views to songs from whenever they bought promotion. People just bought it, and people didn't like that. So I developed an organic service that is completely exposure based. And a quick note about my service too: I only promote non-explicit music. So of that $118,000 that we saw earlier, I could very easily be making more money. But for me personally, I don't promote explicit content just because a lot of things in it, like the misogyny and the violence and just the drug use and all that stuff, it's not what I want to promote for my company. So quick note, just money isn't everything. Don't sacrifice morals or personal convictions just for the sake of money. That's not what this is about. Stick to your morals, and then you will be much happier sleeping at night, even if you don't make as much money. Trust me. And it's not like you can't make a lot of money by sticking to your morals. All right. And the next thing you want to do is pay attention to what other people are selling that's working. So remember, all we're doing at this step is figuring out other products and services we could sell that fit in with your business. So if you're a singer, you probably wouldn't be selling drum kits or sound packs, but you possibly could add singing hooks or songwriting as a service in addition to your own songs you create for sale. So let's take an example look at this. This website is Fiverr.com. A lot of people are familiar with this, but I'm going to give you a new way to look at it. So if you come to the music and audio tab, and you can take notes of this right now, when you go to the Fiverr music and audio tab, these are different services that Fiverr sells. A lot of different artists and musicians make up these services, but Fiverr knows that these services sell a lot. So if you are an artist and you're looking at this page, then there's probably something on here that you can add to your business if you're not already selling it. So let's take a deeper look at this. And if you've never been to Fiverr before, I can drop a link in the chat for that. Okay, so I'm going to drop this link in here. If you've never been to Fiverr before, you can take a note of this, and then you can check that out after. So you don't have to have 15 different services to sell like I do. Don't overwhelm yourself at first, but I would say to have at least 3 to 5 solid services that you can sell. So if you're a singer-songwriter, like we were saying before, that could be songwriting, session work, or features, and even writing songs for other businesses or jingles. So you check out what's selling and adapt it to what works for your brand or for your image. And Fiverr is just one marketplace, by the way. I just picked that one because it was a popular example and it's easy to get to. But there are a number of different other marketplaces and Google searches and things you can do to see what's selling. One thing you don't want to do is spend a ton of time creating a product or a service that nobody wants. So do your research before spending too much time creating something. Now, personally, I just started off, like I said, selling instrumentals, and that's what I was good at. And I definitely would say to work extremely hard on what you're good at first and get that down to the best of your ability before trying to monetize it. So just because a product or a service is popular doesn't mean people are going to buy your product or service just yet. So you can be selling the idea of a service that people do want, but if the quality itself isn't very good, you're not going to be successful at it. Expanding my product lines and services definitely had a major hand in increasing my overall revenue. Like I was saying before, it went from 20,000 a year to over 117,000 a year. And expanding, if I did not expand my product lines to more products, there's no way that would have happened. You never know how much a particular product of yours can sell. Some people create really unique t-shirt designs and they end up selling more of those t-shirts than they do other products, sometimes even their music. And at the end of the day, all of your products are working towards the same goal, which is to grow your music business. So that was section 1. Tried to jam pack as much content as I could in there. I'm opening up the chat for a second here, and you can drop any questions or comments. We'll take a couple minutes for questions or comments, and then we'll keep moving on to the second section. So drop any questions or comments you got so far in the chat. We'll give a couple minutes for that. Jordan. Okay, we got some. I'm going to try to answer a couple of these. Felicia says, very informative so far. Appreciate it. Hope it's helped. Yo, Watts in Atlanta. Dope, man. One-on-one. So we're going to, at the end, stay till the end. We open up a there'll be a call link we can schedule. We just started doing free consultation calls, free 15-minute consultation calls, but that will be, I'll drop a link at the end of the presentation for that. So stick around. Can you Google search it? Thanks for dropping. Nah, Carl. Just want to know about fiber. Can you Google search it? I'm not sure I understand that question, Daniel. Could you ask it a different way? David, how do you get enough traffic? We're going to be going over traffic in the third section, getting more traffic to the website, David. So what price range, Jerry? Sell instrumentals, price range. It really depends. Probably 27 for the lowest lease, and then exclusives can get around 500. All right, and if I don't get your question now, just stick around till the end. I'll try to answer some questions then. But all right, I like it. I love it. I like that there's activity in the chat. All right, we're gonna keep going. So I'm gonna disable the chat for a little bit, and I'll open it back up. All right, y'all. So section 2, knowing how to sell the products. If you aren't willing to invest in your own website, this step is going to be very hard for you. Social media is not designed to sell products. I know that is a shocker to a lot of you, but it is designed to point people to a place where you control the environment to sell the product. And I will get deeper into this. All right, so you, your manager, your bandmate, your group partner, whoever, needs to be able to personally design a website to sell the products that you've thought of from step 1. That may sound scary for some of you, but it truly isn't that bad. I had no knowledge of web design before I made my website. If you're serious about growing your music business, don't try to shortchange this part. And I'm not talking about you have to know how to code, or you don't have to know any of that stuff. It is not that bad, and I will definitely have tools for you at the end of this presentation. One common mistake I see musicians make when trying to sell their products is they have no presentation, as in they're not explaining in a clear and concise way why someone should buy their product. That may sound redundant, that you would have to explain when someone can just read the checkout page that they can buy your product. But trust me, you want to over explain things to people when you're trying to give them something that you think is going to benefit them to sell them. So even if you're selling something as simple as t-shirts, so you got band t-shirts, you guys design some, even if you're selling something as simple as that, there's a way to design different sales pages on your website so that people are more inclined to purchase. And even if you don't own your own website yet, pay attention to these next slides so that you'll know what to do. So let's go back to our songwriter example. I'm going to stick with that one. If I sell songwriting services, I could just create a simple page on a website that lists the service and the price with a standard PayPal buy now button, which probably isn't going to convert very many people to actually being buyers. Or I can create a number of different pages on my website that are centered around the topic and include my songwriting service link in them. So let's see. I know there's a mouthful, but let's see how this could play out. So this is one example. This is a link on my website, actually. And check out the headline here. This says how to surprisingly find and hire the perfect songwriter, lyricist, or composer. So when somebody sees that rather than just a link that says like buy my songwriting service here, they're much more inclined to read a good headline like that. And then within this article, I can include links or buttons, or could even include like a checkout area here for the service that I'm trying to sell them. So you can do your own reviews. There's a bunch of ideas, and I'm going to go over a couple more but this is one way to make a checkout page that is almost cloned or cloaked, I should say, as an article. So you have to think like your potential customer. People are much less likely to click on a link that says songwriting service than they are one that says how to find and hire the perfect songwriter. Now, this could be a page on your website or YouTube or Facebook videos too. So you can make a YouTube video that had that same headline and just include the same information in it and include a link to your service. For this to work well, you need to make sure you're highlighting the product or service in the article and video as well. So you can use arrows, buttons, headlines, underlines, bold, italics, etc., to draw attention to what you want. So if you're just making like a full article or a video centered around a topic that you are selling to people, you want to make sure you highlight, I'd say at the beginning and the end, your service of all of them. Also, even if they don't buy the service, like the first time they visit it, make sure the article or video has a bunch of useful info in it that can still help them. And sometimes the goal is just to get people to keep engaging with your content. They may buy at a later date, but only if they trust the information you're putting out. You can have a number of videos and articles centered around one topic too, but they come at it from different angles. So for this songwriter example that we're going to stick with, another one that let's say I was a country songwriter. Another, besides that first article, another article or video that I could make would be 5 future famous country songwriters to watch in 2020. And essentially, I'm just doing my own review and I'm including myself in my own review. So I could pick 4 other country songwriters that I really like, and I think that they will be somebody to watch in 2020. Or even if you know like a friend of yours who's really good, you can include them in that list. But then you include your own service in the list so that people, once they click on a good headline like that on YouTube or Google or Facebook or Instagram, then your service is embedded within that. All right, so that was section 2. That was quick, but it's packed with some info. So you can hit the chat for the next couple minutes and drop your comments or questions in there. If you had any specific comments or questions, we'll leave that open for a couple minutes. Then we'll get on to the section. Jonathan, how do you organize separating the artist and the producer? You're saying, am I an artist and a producer? Or you're saying, how would you separate the artist and the producer? So if I were both, honestly, I would include just both services on my Big War. Is this webinar in real time? Yes, it is Big War. I'm not going to say the number though. How do you organize separating the artists? I would include both the services on there. Do you sell templates for instrumentals? I don't. But I do. There's drum kits and sound kits that I sell. William, next webinar session, I will drop some more times for webinars in the on the email list. Afoma, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. 20 minutes you missed. Is there any big tips? Yeah, section 1 was pretty big, honestly, but stick around till the end. You can still learn some more stuff. Promotion wise, all right, that one might be a little bit in-depth answer. So if you guys have some more like in-depth questions, definitely stick around to the end. Like I said, there'll be links at the end. You can ask more questions or even set up like a free consultation call. Let's see. If I don't get to your question, definitely stick around to the end. I'm gonna try to answer them all, but if not, you can definitely email too. anything wrong with borrowing or buying the best for the site that capture our attention to adapt to ourselves? No, David, that can be a good thing. Can be. There's a way to do it and there's a way not to do it. Can you Google search fiber site? Not sure. Not sure, Daniel. Sorry. Did I miss anyone? Merrick, any good web design sites? Yeah, there are. We will go over some later. Either to market on Twitter or Instagram. Depends on who it is. For me, it was Twitter. But somebody else could tell you something differently. But we go over. I'll go over more of that. Okay. All right, guys. I appreciate all the questions. Like I said, stick around. And we'll try to get to more of them. But for now, chat is disabled. So here we go. Gonna hop on to the last section here is who to sell to, section 3. So there are a number of ways to get web traffic nowadays. So some of those questions in the chat very relevant to this section here. There's Facebook ads, there's Twitter, there's Instagram, there's SEO, there's YouTube, etc. However, I've said it before, I'll say it again, you want quality over quantity. What would you rather have? One song with 1 million plays on Spotify, but you still have to work your 9 to 5, or a functional website with 20,000 visitors a month, but you make enough to work it full time? So most people, judging from the polls that was given out in the chat, would probably say they want to work their music business full time. And I know some people aren't ready to hear this, but you do not need 100,000 followers on Instagram to be successful. Having a large following can certainly help your music business, but only if they are a targeted, highly targeted audience. For the sake of time, I'm going to give you just one method that you can apply to your music business right now, but you can apply this thinking to other advertising methods too. All right, guys. So my website personally focuses a lot on SEO, which is search engine optimization. And that's just a fancy way of saying that a lot of pages on my website rank highly in Google, and people often find my site through search results. So there's probably a number of you watching this right now who found me through some sort of Google search. You probably signed up for an email list, and then through all those different things to attract the right person and the right visitor who wants this content, you found this webinar. And Google and YouTube are ways of letting your customers find you, your target audience. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter ads are ways of finding them. Right now, we'll hit one method for Google that works quite well. So we'll take a look at our songwriter example again. We'll stick with the same one. So if you're a songwriter and watching this, today's your lucky day. One free and easy way to know which specific articles or YouTube videos you should be making is to take a look at the suggested searches on Google for keywords. All right, so here is one example. The keyword here that we're looking at is songwriters for hire. That is underlined at the top of the screen. The ad, so these ones at the top that say ad, those are not search engine optimization. Those are AdWords. So people paid for those results. But the one that does not have the ad button next to it, that person did do search engine optimization. So they're trying to rank it high on Google. And that's the #1 spot. So you always want to be the #1 on the first page of Google. So that's the one that obviously gets the most search traffic and results. Now, when you first start, like right off the bat, you're not going to always be #1, but there's definitely ways that you can keep moving up the ranks. And eventually your site can have a bunch of different keywords come into it from different search terms that you get a bunch of traffic. So at the bottom, whenever you're searching for a term on Google, if you scroll to the bottom and you see the section that says searches related to whatever term you typed in. For this one is songwriters for hire. These different terms under here are all things that you can make videos or articles on for your website. So let's look at one of these. And then these at the bottom again are ads. So pardon me. I just wanted to point that out. We're looking for search engine optimization here, not the ad ones, that's a different method. So we're going to look at the rap songwriters for hire. If you were, let's go back for a second. If you were a rapper who just decided during step one that you could add some different songwriting services to your music business, one of the things you would probably want to do is start to rank YouTube videos or articles on your website high in Google, and then that's just going to bring the customers to you. And if you have a well-designed article or sales page, then people will engage with your content and you'll start to get more sales. And then you can even look for more different keywords centered around your topic after you click on that search result. So you can click on 10 different search results and find a bunch of different keywords that you can use for your business. And then another way you can do this is through SERPs.com. So this is search engine rankings page. And I'll try to drop that one in the chat. So this is going to be SERPs.com. In case any of you can't read the screen, and a couple things you want to pay attention to here. So you just punch in your keyword in the keyword research tool, and then it will show you the search volume of the term you're having. The search volume is just the number of people who search that term every month. The cost per click, so anybody who's paying for that ad, Google thinks that a click at the top of the page is worth $2. That's for every click. And then the value they give to that means they think that a person can make this amount of money from this page during the month if they have a well-designed sales page. So as you can see, as you keep piling on more and more keywords and things like that to your website, then that's how your value increases when you're doing everything else well. When you know what to sell, you know how to sell it, and then you know who to sell to. So you can rinse and repeat this method with as many different related search terms that are relevant to your music business. And there are hundreds and thousands of things people are searching for on YouTube and Google. You can make an Excel sheet or a Google sheet and write down all the keywords you find, their search volume and value, then get to work creating the right content for those keywords. Now, this does take work, but once it's set up in ranking, it pretty much runs itself. But again, like, this takes work. You cannot just make one video, then think it's going to rank on the first page of Google or YouTube right away. The musicians who don't make any real progress will maybe try one of these methods for about a week, not see instant results, and give up and conclude it doesn't work. But people with that mindset don't really want success. They want a handout. But if you made it this far into the presentation, you can pat yourself on the back. Chances are you aren't one of those people who wants a handout. You're willing to put in the work to get the results. Now, these are just a few tips on knowing what to sell, how to sell, and who to sell it to. You have these essential questions and building blocks for your music business and goals, and these will take you farther than most other artists out there. Now, again, your products aren't going to sell if you don't create the right product and service. You don't perfect your craft enough to where people will actually buy the service. You don't have a website that is fully designed for selling. You don't make good headlines or videos to attract the customers you want. And you don't know how to get the customers to your site in the first place. And that can be overwhelming. But the musicians, producers, and artists who don't make progress, don't invest the time, the effort, or the funds into their music career that can help get them to where they want to go. And we've gone over some great info today. Hope you guys really got a lot of info out of this, but there's no way I could possibly tell you everything you need to know about the intricacies of these methods in one short presentation. And if your goal is to really pursue your music career to its full potential, you need to know the ins and outs of everything I just talked about and much more. Think about it. There are millions and millions of other artists, songwriters, producers, engineers, etc. out there trying to do exactly what you're doing. And that's a lot of competition. I found it's not who you know in the business, it's what you know that can push you ahead of the competition. So that's why I made the six-figure music business video course, the Unconventional Six-Figure Music Business Course. And somebody else that can say this, think about it. I at least have to know a thing or two about building a music business or helping build yours if last year my 100% independent business in the music industry generated over $117,000. I can say all I want, but the numbers don't lie. And no, this course isn't guaranteeing you'll make six figures. It's not a get rich quick scheme or anything like that. But it is showing you how I did it step by step. So there's a value in seeing what somebody else does and then mirroring it for your business, which is one of the questions in the chat that somebody said earlier. Now, again, these are just the PayPal sales from my business, that $118,000 that doesn't even include music affiliate income or other sources of income. Now, imagine you knew the exact strategies I use to grow my music business to six figures. You'd save hours, weeks, or even years of time and effort by seriously speeding up the growth of your music business. And that's what you get with the Unconventional Six-Figure Music Business Course. So here's how this course is going to help you. It's broken down into 6 clear sections and over 45 in-depth videos on exactly how I built my music business. All you have to do is follow along and apply the strategies to your music business to start growing. In section 1, we go over product exploration. I'll go into more detail on what products and services to sell that your potential customers actually want to buy. So better product lines equal more sales, as we just saw with my music business. In section 2, we go over where to sell the products. So I'll show you one style of sales page in this presentation, but there are a number of other high converting sales pages on my website, and I'll walk you through the design and psychology of all of them line by line. In section 3, we go over product creation. Now, you'll know what products people buy, and creating them better than the competition will attract more customers to your music business. In section 4, we go over convincing customers to buy. So this is a key section that honestly every artist needs to know. One of the meatier sections of the course. The art of communication and turning a website visitor into a buyer. Much easier said than done, as you guys probably know. You can learn from what works for me and adapt it for your business. In section 5, we're going over making the right people aware. So I'll go much deeper into SEO, search engine optimization, Google, Facebook ads, Twitter, YouTube, and more. And getting over 1.6 million site hits didn't happen by accident, didn't happen by mistake. I'll show you the strategies I use to get that. And then section 6 is scaling. Once you have everything else in place, it's a matter of tweaking, improvising, and perfecting your business formula. And I'll show you how I did mine, and you can see firsthand how it's done. So here's what you see exactly after you log in. This is the Unconventional Six-Figure Music Business Course home. And if you see navigation, there's everything that I just talked about, all listed right there. Plus, you get a free ebook and audiobook with the course. So that's a $37 value included. The ebook is great. It's packed with 11 chapters of content, but obviously there's much more information and strategies I can show you in a video course than I can in a book, but it's still a great bonus to the course. I know for my business, time is money. The faster you can learn and implement the strategies, the sooner you can grow your music career to where you actually want it to go. And that's exactly what's possible when you upgrade to the course. So normally this course goes for $497. And to tell you the truth, that is still a great deal for the amount of information that you get. But for the next 30 minutes only, you can get this for only $297 or 3 payments of $137 over 3 months. You can save over 40% off full price by taking advantage of the discount now. So do not miss the opportunity. And you can see this in your chat right now. So for the next 30 minutes only, the discounted link should be available right on your screen. And once the clock hits 0 on the checkout page, the discount does indeed actually go away. So the clock on there is real. This is not a sales tactic. I'm offering you all this discount because you watched this webinar this far, but I truly believe the course is worth a lot more than what I'm offering it for. Even at full price, even the $497, learning how somebody made 6 figures in the music business is very valuable. So this discount is time sensitive. So you can start learning in just a couple minutes. Once you create your profile on the checkout page and select your payment option, you have full access to the course and be on your way to learning these highly sought after strategies. Checkout only takes a couple minutes, so you'll be started in no time. And you guys can drop any questions or comments you have in the chat now. So I'm going to unmute the chat. And you guys can definitely hit up the chat with any questions or comments you'd have. I'll stick around for probably 10, 15 minutes answering whatever questions you'd have. When I first started producing, how long did it take me to see an income? So mine was pretty quick, actually. I was on there whenever SoundClick was big. So what I used to do is put up my beats on SoundClick, and honestly, I started making money from beats pretty quickly whenever I started putting them out. At first, I just made beats just to make beats, and then as I got better, then I thought about selling them. David, thanks for the webinar. Welcome, man. JC, San Antonio, you provide insight into the process of selling instrumentals and sync licensing and not webinar. Next, selling instrumentals. Yeah. So we go over, like I said before, there's a couple ways. So this course definitely helps with going over different sales pages and different sales strategies to be able to buy. And then I'm trying to get to as many as I can. And then your other question. So the other question was kind of specific. I'd say I'll drop a link to the free consultation calls in probably 5 minutes, 7 minutes. So people can schedule those calls if they have those, like if you have a specific problem with your music business that you think we can help with. Felicia, does the 137 come out today or can I defer the payment? It would start today. It just comes out once a month. So once a month for 3 months would be the 137. That discount link is only active for 30 minutes once you click on it. So yeah, that clock is real in there. Let's see, Jerry, in chance you can summer sale in the coming weeks. Do you want the content? Can't. I feel it, Jerry. No, there's other options. There'll be another option that I'll drop, and not on the course. So the course is indeed a one-time discount, but I can give you all a link for possibly the ebook, which is a lot less expensive. Still, like I said, it's still great. This doesn't have the information the course has. So if you're on a tight budget, I can drop the link for the ebook. Just give me about 5 minutes. I said I got to drop a link for the call, drop a link for the ebook. But definitely, if whoever can grab this webinar right now, it is absolutely worth it. Let's see. All right. Yeah, keep dropping the questions. I'm gonna try to answer as many as I can. Jerry, sounds good. Thank you. You're welcome. Ron, glad you liked the webinar. Daniel, welcome. Merrick, of course, right now. Yeah, you guys are welcome. Hey, David, change it to YouTube monetization had an effect on your biz. Not drastically, because like I said, streaming monetization should be, in my eyes, a very small part of your business. It's if that is making a lot, that's great, but I personally want to be able to just sell my own products or services or things that I can really control the rate of. I can't change how much they're paying me per stream, but I can sell different products and I can create different ideas to be able to sell more myself, if that makes sense. Okay, so again, that 297 definitely is going to go away, but for the ebook, the ebook link is in the chat. So if you guys want to get your hands on that, if you truly do not have like that 297, which is very, very easily worth it, you can check out the ebook. It's still great. Go for 37. And like I said before, to tell you the truth, the 497 is still absolutely worth it for that course. So there's another old saying. I dropped an old saying before, is don't step over dollars to get the dimes. So if you have that 297 and you're thinking about what would I lose, I'd start to think about what you could possibly gain. So knowing all the strategies they use to gain 6 figures, that's valuable information. That's just the sound of my water bottle. All right. Yeah, keep dropping the questions. Chances are, if you have a question, other people have a question. So the audiobook, Jerry, is literally a transcribing of the ebook, and it's included with the ebook. So whenever you get the ebook, The audiobook is included in it. If you get the course, the ebook and audiobook are already included. And yeah, the audiobook is narrated by me. So like I said before, if anybody missed it, the ebook is great, but there's just things I can't show somebody. I can't do a video walkthrough via an ebook. So while it's great, you can grow a lot faster and have the content more readily available to apply with the course. So yeah, while it has a bunch of great info, there's just content I can't put in a book that I can in a video. All right, these questions are good. Yeah, keep dropping the questions. And the chat is just a link for the consultation calls too. Execution plans and video in the course. So all the topics that I go over in the ebook, the table of contents is listed on the checkout page. And then the course, the feature, that screenshot of the course, what I go over is all listed right there. So withholding, I don't think that's the right word. It's that it's not possible to show in a video walkthrough. Like if this webinar presentation were a book, then it's obviously much harder to consume and there's not as much that I can show. So the ebook is there I wanted to make it affordable for everyone to be able to get something. Some people truly don't have $137 even to get the monthly discounted price. So for those people, the ones who don't have it, they can definitely try the 37 because beggars can't be choosers, right? But if somebody does have that option of getting the results much faster, then it's just wise to get that. And so for that, yeah, the ebook, again, that clock is real. And so that time is ticking down on it. Jerry, 37 doable. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, the book is awesome. You definitely will love the book too. EPUB on a Kindle. It is in PDF and in the audio version. But we'll look into EPUB. Oh, okay. I said it's in PDF. Yeah, we'll look into branching out to other versions. And the audio is obviously in audio. Yeah, for those interested in the course, that discount, again, that time is definitely taken down. Okay. I appreciate that tip, Jerry. All right, guys, I'll probably stay on for about 5 more minutes if you have any other questions. David. Oh, yeah, man. Always. All right, guys, we got about 2 minutes. Any last questions? If you didn't schedule a call, or if you did not take advantage of the course offer yet, now would be the time to do it. A big thing about being an entrepreneur too, um, yeah, you got to be able to make efficient decisions. So I know a lot of times people will sit on the fence for too long and they'll miss their opportunity. All right. Any last questions? All right, yo. I'm gonna sign out, and I will be navigating all the signups for the course. So I'll be on the chat support for that.